Welcome back, folks. You know, Democrats keep proving they're less of a political party and more of a traveling improv troupe that thinks rules are just suggestions. Today we have California Governor Greasy Gavin Newsom trying to gerrymander our state with all the subtlety of a used car salesman. Adam Schiff re-emerging like political mildew with a punchline so flat it could double as a Biden economy chart. And Karen Bass calling the enforcement of federal law lawlessness. It's a perfect clown parade of Democrat projection, hypocrisy, and cell phone after cell phone. So buckle up, because the clips you're about to see prove the Democrats' favorite sport isn't governing, it's gaslighting.
We're all here today in solidarity to say that we will continue to resist. We are not going to accept this behavior from this administration, and that Los Angeles stands united.
It's truly great to see criminals are standing together to fight for their right to continue being lawless. Only in America do they have the option to do something like that because of our constitutionally protected freedoms. If this press conference were happening anywhere else in the world, say Saudi Arabia, Iran, South Africa, or even maybe England, they'd be at best arrested and at worst executed for openly violating and challenging federal law. But not in America, folks. So thank God for our God-given freedoms, because no matter how much you disagree with these commie Democrat fools, they still have the right to live as fools for as long as they like. Let's just hope they learn a thing or two along the way. And that's where the bigger picture comes in, folks, because this isn't just about unity or standing with immigrant communities, as Karen Bass frames it. It's about city government normalizing the idea that federal immigration law is optional if it conflicts with this Democrat ideology. And that's a dangerous precedent, because once law enforcement becomes a choose-your-own-adventure type game, you don't get to stop the chaos where you want. It just spreads like a virus. This is the cultural moment we're in, folks. The Democrat Party has built a political identity around resisting any policy they deem immoral, not through reform or legislation, but through flat-out noncompliance, backed by activist media, universities, and social pressure. The result is a two-tiered system, one where law applies selectively and loyalty to the narrative matters more than loyalty to the rule of law. And that's not unity, folks. It's organized defiance dressed up as virtue. Anyway, yesterday during Gavin's sham press conference, BPD was outside the venue arresting illegals who were just, hanging around the area, because in Los Angeles we have over 1 million illegal aliens, so you kind of just walk out on the street and you bump into a bunch of them. Anyway, Mayor Karen reacted to these detainments in the only way a Karen could react.
There is no way this was a coincidence.
Whoa.
This was widely publicized that the governor and many of our other elected officials were having a press conference here to talk about redistricting, and they decided they were going to come and thumb their nose in front of the governor's face. Why would you do that? That is unbelievably disrespectful.
Is it?
It's a provocative act.
It's the law.
About disorder in Los Angeles, and they are the source of the disorder in Los Angeles right now. This is just completely unacceptable. This is a administration. This is a Customs and Border Patrol that has gone amok. This absolutely has to stop. There was no danger here. There was no need to detain anyone here. And there was certainly no need to have a provocative act right here where the governor is having a press conference.
Can we get a mental health check on Karen? Because that's not normal, folks. She's like 70-something, which in commie years is like 120, and all that gluttonous Marxism has a way of busting your coronaries. But beyond the cheap laugh, what she's saying here is actually more revealing than ridiculous. She's framing a lawful ICE raid, something well within federal authority, as a provocative act simply because it happened near a press conference. That's a textbook example of bad faith framing, turning lawful enforcement into political persecution, not by disputing the law itself, but by questioning the motives of those enforcing it. This is how the Democrat Party operates, folks. They don't challenge immigration policy in Congress where it belongs. They delegitimize enforcement on the ground to erode it by attrition. It's a cultural strategy as much as a political one, backed by the activist media and city government officials that treat federal law like an optional subscription plan. The more this mindset spreads, the more it conditions the public to see law as relative and loyalty to ideology as a highest virtue. And that's not protecting communities, by the way. It's dismantling the rule of law one press conference at a time. And folks, this isn't just by accident. This is calculated. Mayor Karen Bass, as I love to remind all of you every single time we talk about her on this show, she's a trained communist insurgent trained in Cuba by Fidel. She's doing her job here. She's infiltrated American government and she's dissolving it from within, following the Leninist playbook so they can ultimately undermine American values, constitutional republic, and ultimately bring upon a communist utopia that people of the likes of Karen and Zohran Mamdani and AOC and the entire Democrat establishment at this point have just embraced.